All right. Hey, so like Nick said, we're going to do something a little bit different today. Here we go. It's the chairs. It's their fault. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to have the Hudsons come up in a moment. And they, a few weeks back, Ronnie, Annalise, and Abigail went on a mission trip. I'm going to let them tell you about the details, but I wanted to take an opportunity and just talk with them for a few minutes about their experience, how that went, kind of just how it was life-changing for them. And so Ronnie, Abigail, Annalise, would you guys go ahead and come up here for me? And we're going to talk with them for just a few minutes, and then we'll get to the message after that. The good news is this means I have to preach shorter, so you're welcome. All right. Yeah, go ahead and have a seat. Nice shoes. I like those shoes.
Thanks. I like yours too.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. All right, so as we talk, there's going to be a slideshow of like 7 or 8 pictures that's just going to play kind of in the background. So you guys can watch those, but it's not going to fill the entire time. So kind of take a look at that. But guys, thank you for joining me up here today. I appreciate it. So this is Ronnie in the middle, and then Abigail on the end, and Annalise here. Why don't you guys tell me about the trip? Where'd you guys go? How long were you there? Just some of the details.
Okay, well, we go to part of the country called in Dominican. And I've been going personally for 4 years. The girls, Abigail's only been for 3, and Annalise this year was her first year. The whole program is they started a school, and because the Haitians are the lower form of kind of society, if you want to put it, they get to, the Dominican people don't like to harvest the cane, the sugar cane. So they bring in these guys to cut the cane. So, and nobody wants to deal with them. The Haitian and the Dominican people, they kind of don't like each other. And so this missionary started this whole school where they allowed the Haitian kids to actually get an education. Normally they would just get to like maybe 6th grade if they're lucky, and then be out on their own and have nothing. The government doesn't want to take care of them because obviously they're Haitians living in the Dominican. And so this school started, and that's what we go there. We're there to support the missionaries there, and we get to teach English so that the Haitian kids can actually get to understand a little bit of the English, because everything's in Spanish, so they get to learn and be able to get culturally, they get lifted up that way. And we get to preach and just support them and be part of their lives.
Very cool. Ronnie is from South Africa, so for those who did not know that, that's why the accent.
And if you ever got tech support, don't worry, if you're getting me.
Abigail, this is your 3rd year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about how your life is different, or like how your perspective on the world is different after going on this trip for the last 3 years.
So when we go all the time, it's different because when it's hotter there, so you get to wear shorts when it's winter here. And then they live in not very housey houses. They're very beat down and in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by sugarcane, and they're not very big. And so they might have like 3 kids, and it's only like the size of our living room. So it's different, and most of them don't have cars, so they have to walk or take the bus, which is like 30 minutes on this bumpy road. And they only eat rice and beans for lunch and dinner. And that's different because we can just go to the grocery store and get anything that we want, but they don't have that luxury that we do. And so it was different culturally, and some of them don't grow up in Christian houses, so they don't know Christ, but we do, and we can just go to church every day. But yeah.
Cool. Annalise, what about you? Is your first year? How did it impact you?
Well, they're a lot more grateful than we are. We have so many different things that we just take for granted. Like, you get socks for Christmas. You're like, oh, socks. But you can just flash a little kid a smile, and that would be the highlight of their entire day.
That'll change as you get older. You'll like socks more. Tell me about how you saw, like you guys obviously, you taught English, but this is a mission trip, right? So part of the goal is to talk to kids and talk to families about Jesus. How did you see God work through your team in the lives of the people that you were serving?
Well, the biggest thing is like, we just painting. Abigail, myself, and Annalise were on a 80-foot lift. But when we get to meet the kids, and like this year we got to meet we call her our sponsored kid, but we're trying to come up with a better name. But we got to meet her mom, and like to see how she is so thankful that her kid has an opportunity. Like, all right, we've been sponsoring her for 3 years, and she was in kindergarten or whatever. So as the years has grown, she's gotten to understand what the program's about. And now she gets to see, and as we've supported her, you can see how her life has changed and her parents' life has changed because of that. Whereas they wouldn't have had anything. They would just be living in the dirt, as Abigail said, and there's nothing there for them. So we've been able to impart into her life and show her Christ, that there are people that actually do love them, and Christ working through us is that. And then we're his hands and feet, and being able to support her.
That's cool. That's cool. How did God work in your guys' lives through this trip? Any of you? Go ahead, jump in.
Well, as I said, it showed that we should be more grateful about things, because these kids in the Dominican, they really have nothing. Like, some of their houses are just the size of our living room, and they value small things a lot more than we do, because we just fancy things.
Yeah.
They get taught Bible class, and some of them, when we teach them, they're like, my favorite class is Bible class. But at my school, we also have Bible class, and they all despise Bible class for some reason. I'm just like, what happens if you didn't have Bible class? You wouldn't be taught anything. What if you grew up like they did? They had nothing, and they're happy to go to school, and you don't want to. So.
Cool. So just some perspective shifts. That's great. So as a church, we've never done anything like a short-term mission trip, and there are reasons for that, but it's not something that we've done. What would you guys say, why would you encourage someone to do something like this, to be part of an experience like this, if they've never done anything like it before?
Oh, for my side of things, been doing it for a long time and coming from Africa, I'm used to a lot of the stuff, but I think it gets you, like Annalise says, it gets you out of your comfort zone, and you get to realize that when we talk about we're the 1%, we are that 1%. Even the lowest form of poverty in America is 1,000 times lower than that. Yeah. And going to Haiti as well for a number of years, that's even lower than we are going now. So as people, as Americans, we kind of take for granted. Yes, we go to the store and buy whatever we want. Starbucks in the morning or whatever you want. There is nothing. Like Abigail says, rice and beans, beans and rice, and some days you have burnt rice with burnt beans. So we get to eat some of the stuff that they do, because that way you actually get to see and immerse yourself in the culture and realize, wow, we have so much.
Awesome. And you guys want to add anything? You don't have to. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Hey, would you give the Hudsons a round of applause? Thank you guys for coming up here.